careful, listen up, or we can win this.
Hello, Andre. We are here. Hi. How is the races going so far?
Oh, I love it. A lot of tight competition. We have some nice discussions to have about the rules and regs. Northgate interpreted the rules a little differently. Some people are upset, but they didn't break any rules.
Right.
So we got to work that out, which is fantastic, which means they read the rules and they interpret it to their advantage. So that's good. Remember too, today is about one component of the whole thing. Fastest of the day means you get a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
But majority of the points is from the written portfolio, which will take us a while to get to. So what we're announcing, hopefully later, I can't say I have any favorites, but I really like in Northgate. The Saints cart is fast. We don't know, we'll see.
Yes.
Right? But definitely later on, when we find out who wins, we're having that discussion. We just have a fastest of the day for now, until we tally all the scores. So racing is good. I have to admit, racing is good. I'm enjoying it. We had some nice excitement with the spills, and that is part of it. The beauty with it is because we have the safety things in place. It's fun, you know. One of the girls was excited about crashing.
Yes. For sure,
that's what we want. We want that kind of excitement to be a part of their process for assessment, and that's important. Failure is a part of success, you know. And these youngsters have learned it. They're applying it.
So, I'm excited. You see
I mean, in between when we had a little break, people out there.
They are exactly playing football, doing all these things.
To me, it's very rewarding seeing. And yet another way to engage our youth.
It's nice to see that everybody else like to come out and see them, people that belong to them, people that don't belong to them. You're seeing partisans coming in from random places. I saw
a couple families, one or two older people at least came in with a little cooler, but you gotta stay hydrated, you know. And we're doing well, you know, with the continued support from our sponsors. Digicel, Blue Waters came in last minute, gave us some product and thing, which really keeps me hydrated. We have NGC, we have Ministry of Sport, Ministry of Education, Trinidad.com. You know, and our latest sponsor that came on board, Caribbean Airlines.
Wonderful. That's
so
great.
we looking good. We get any sport. We hope we get more traction, and I think at least I am very happy. I'm very, very happy with what I've seen, and you know, we're growing it.
Well, we like to see you happy, right?
Yeah, who don't like to see me happy, boy? Who don't like to see me happy?
We'll be back with another take, you guys, later.
Where we build it around momentum. So we measured our center of gravity, we figured out the mass we needed. Well, we got acceleration, so we calculated the ramp, everything, the hypotenuse and the acceleration, and was able to figure out what was needed in order for the car to go very fast. So from that we build the car according to physics, so like we have it like a rocket ship. So air resistance doesn't affect it, so we get maximum speed as possible, acceleration down the ramp. So that's how the cart is good, and we try to have it like good amount of weight, so we could get mass is one of the things needed for it to come down really fast. So we try to add more weight into it, and it has more weight, so it's very good right now.
Actually, the friend that invited me and was like, "Girl, I need your help," was also another girl. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure why, but she no longer was able to be on the team anymore. So then I was left as the only girl. I'm an impressionist and slightly abstract artist. So I'm accustomed to it doesn't need to be clean, sharp lines. It could be all willy-nilly, it could be whatever color I'm feeling in the moment. Creative freedom to me is just literally doing whatever I want. Like I do some hyperrealism, but even in my hyperrealism, it's all colorful. Like people's skin are blue or green. It's nothing about what I do has ever been realistic. So for this, where I had to sit down and think about measurements and think about design in regards to physics and think about it can't just be a scratchy line, it needs to be a straight line, like all of that. That was an interesting experience for me.
For me, it was like a kind of community effort for me. So what really I took away with it was a feeling of security and community, because we all worked together on it, you know. We all had fun, we all learned from it. And for me personally, I was able to view people in another light, you know, like to see the thought process of other people and so on.
You can't do this without a team, because the amount of splitting up we had to do for that portfolio, and also management checking out how the box cart building process was going. Really and truly, for one man to be able to do all that up and down, all that kind of thing, that's impossible. And another thing is, we have to be kind of open-minded. When I say that, I mean like, think about all the possibilities, because in the early stages of the box cart process, we were just throwing ideas, seeing what could work, because it was still it was like a blank canvas, so we just throwing in ideas, seeing what could work, and if it worked out in the end. And all of that led to the final box cart itself. So in that case, yeah, what I really learned was just be open-minded, let all the ideas flow, and then kind of siphon it down, make it into one sharp point.
Well, I had to say the same thing what Dre and Daniel said. Well, doing this thing, I realized I was more of a lone wolf guy, like to do everything myself. But then I realized, wait, if you have a team, right, it's just not one idea coming out from the team. It's many ideas. And through that many ideas, we were able to get one perfect idea, which helped us in the end to get third place overall. But then I realized a team is actually a group of people who respects each other's ideas and opinion. So that's what I was able to take out from this experience.
Personally, it made me realize that this box cart, you cannot work by yourself. Because just like Ashwin, I normally would work alone. But I realized something as big as this, you cannot actually do by yourself. It also helped with communication skills, you know, what to agree, what not to disagree. You'll have some drawbacks, but you learn. And that would be my personal experience.
My personal experience was very similar but very different. I joined the school in September. So when the box cart information went out, I was very, very new at the time. So I joined here and I did not know any of these guys. I didn't know their names or anything like that. But through this experience, I've become friends with them, which was like really interesting for me, because in all the other spaces I've been in before, I've already known someone. I joined secondary school knowing people in the school already. So this was a very, very interesting experience. But another personal thing that I've learned is that people are still people. So sometimes people can't be consistent. Sometimes people try their best and it's just they need to try better. But at the same time, people are people, so accept their best for what it is.
Once they master, you all weighed yourself in the car?
Yeah.
How you did that?
Well, first we weighed ourselves. Then we used a Newton meter to weigh the entire car.
Yeah, Newton meter?
Yeah.
Tell me about the Newton meter.
You know, it was a really enlightening experience, you know, to work together with other like people and to experience what their thought process is. You know, some of the things we did during the Box Cart was like obviously the portfolio, where we had to sit down in a room and like discuss the process and what we had to put in the portfolio, and also come on days where we are all available to overview and like we all agree on what's going on.
To be truthful, the experience was very beautiful until that moment struck, the portfolio. It was so long. I had nightmares about it. Most of my time was on that. Anyhow, everything was okay.
It was experience for sure. Had some good times, had some bad times mainly. Like everybody else was saying, the portfolio, being as that took up most of the time. In some aspects it was fun because, well, I wouldn't say fun, but it was informative because in certain areas you had to learn about a new aspect of physics or learn about some other formulas or whatever to figure out specific details and values you need. And then, well, aside from that, it was real tedious with the wording and the having to write down and edit and summarize. Oh god. But that was the only kind of bad part. Other than that, it was enjoyable to see how the card came from a couple pieces of plank and a plastic barrel into what it was there. Yeah.
Top speed, 2 miles an hour. Top speed.
We can win
Just to be careful.
We can win
It was nice. It was nice, you know. It was my first personal time actually building a cart from scratch. It was nice. Team worked well. Had some nice funny moments together. You know, had a few falls, possibly. You know, construction was a bit messy, but we got there. And like everybody said, portfolio. No, that portfolio was long. It was long. Dropped on calls, just working at that, and it was just, that was that.
The most interesting part of the experience, well, the best part of the experience for me was the designing part of it. I'm an art student, and that's why I was originally drafted in. They said, you know, you just draw, come help us draw. That was my first time actually drawing a design to be built. So everything had to be done to scale instead of a full artistic freedom. And that was a very enlightening experience, which is weird because everybody's least favorite part was the portfolio, which was like not that bad to me. And I was the one who did most of the work on the portfolio in the first place. But you know, my teammates they did help with it. I did not like the researching part. We had to like literally go through textbooks and Google and look through so many different things to find out good ways, the physics behind how the cart will move. And that was a long, tedious process.
Another close one, another close one.
Lost control there, but thanks to God's grace, I get back in control.
Okay, on the left, the corner, Presentation College. On the right, walk out the stage. We have the standard orders. Hi, George.
live right now. We're going live right now. Alright, we're breaking for lunch. This morning's run, I think we had about 3 rounds this morning. The action was nice and tight, exciting. Of course, a couple of teams floated to the top. We noticed that St. Mary's and NorthGate College. Arima kind of giving them a run for their money, but guess what? After lunch, we'll see.
Probably the least worst time was not when we had just started. We had to come during lunchtime to do meetings to talk about how we were going to build the stuff. It was fine, honestly. Missed a few lunchtimes, play a little less football, no big deal. But the part that I really didn't much like was having to come during the vacation to finish. Quite long portfolio. But it had some fun times in between, you know.
I like the vacation when we were working. That was really fun for me. And well, seeing the carts actually work, going on the ramp, that was fun. The hard times, it was mainly online, so you would have one idea and then we would kind of loop around to the same idea, so that was kind of hard.
The fun times was like when we built the cart and we was testing it. That was the most fun for me, at least. And like the hard times, like coming through vacation.
Some of the fun times were probably like building the box car and actually getting it to see it run. But even online, there'd be times after meetings where Osei, who used to build like little videos and stuff, we'd go online and find some of his least favorite ones, and we'd come and watch those after the meetings, and he'd leave halfway through. So some of the bad times was that portfolio. That portfolio was horrible, but otherwise it was good.
So the fun times for me were really coming out and working on the box cart, building it especially was really fun since we got to use the power tools, and many of which I hadn't been exposed to very often. And then when we finished built it, we got to race in them and we got a feel of that speed. The most exciting part of the entire box cart process for me was when we went down in our first test race at the Arima Velodrome. That speed was way faster than what we tested here at school, so that was really exhilarating, and I almost lost control at the first. So it etched in my mind.
For me, the portfolio, because I'm a drawer, I just had to draw and stuff, so I don't share the same hatred to the portfolio.
Besides the portfolio, I find it was good.
This is kind of hard to do with gravity only, but I would have liked to see like a longer racetrack, so we could have had more kind of like battles.
Maybe giving like a test day or a few days to test, or maybe a week to test at least, so that we can get our so like in the portfolio when you said about testing it, we weren't able to do that in NorthGate since we didn't have a hill or we didn't build models. So getting to test on the actual race measurements would have been helpful.
For me, I just thought of like, when at the box cart, you all said this was like one of the first box carts in a long time or so. So in the future, it would be nice to like invest in it and like build a proper area designated for a box cart competition.
As a physics teacher, I thoroughly enjoyed seeing the physics come to life. I got to see the students really excited the minute they saw this thing being advertised. Who doesn't want to get into a box cart and drive it? So there really was a lot of initiative at the very beginning when the kids started doing the research and getting together as a team and starting to go online and look for their videos and things like that. It was very encouraging to see kids engage in a process so independently. That was really heartening for me. I enjoyed even the basic thing, just potential energy to kinetic energy and the momentum and the placement of the center of gravity. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I also enjoyed watching how some of my kids, the things that I got to see inside of kids that I would not otherwise have seen inside of a classroom. So Kabir may be one of the quiet ones that you would have had here, but I saw Kabir go out and play football on the field with the guys while we were waiting. You heard them say they had to wait sometimes because we were doing a lot of the construction and we had to get a lot of the help with the construction, but Kabir went and played football with some of the guys. Those things excite me. It excites me that a student like Jose, who's not a physics student, Jose would not typically. Jose is one of those you're glad got to show his strengths in a non-academic way. To me, that is one of the valuable things about this. I valued being able to see Ashwin as a newbie to our school. It was a big deal to me that Ashwin drove one of our cars, that Ashwin placed in one of our cars, just having been in the school for 2 years. Because he's such a part of the school, it has been personally valuable to me to see a group of kids work at something and then be rewarded when they weren't working for a reward. Those are the things that are personally very rewarding to me. It was rewarding for me to see a group of adults graft themselves into the process of our students and engage in it because they were remembering the old time days, the number of stories my students got about box carts down in Point Fortin and them going on the bumpy roads and the white man and the number of stories that they got from the men who supported the build process, priceless.